What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of Just In Case, brought to you by Elysium and hosted by me, Justin Casey. And yes, before you start asking in the comments below, that is my real name. So in this week's episode, we're going to take a look at what we call password management, to try and make sure that your passwords don't end up in the hands of any hackers or involved in any data breaches online. Why? Just in case. So hit that subscribe button, get comfortable, and let's get started. Let's start with a question. When you hear the word hacker, what comes to mind? Because for most people, it's this. Some guy or girl in a hoodie in a dark basement, tapping away frantically at a keyboard, and then the elusive line, "I'm in." But in reality, it's not how it happens. It's not even close to how it happens. We'll talk about that in a different video in terms of the different types of hackers, because we have different versions. We have the good guys and the bad guys, the white hats and the black hats, and then we have some guys in between. But anyways, we hear the phrase hacking or hacked quite a lot nowadays. With the rise of social media, the average person has over 10 accounts in today's world. Okay, over 10 accounts, and it might sound excessive, but when you stop and think about it, it really isn't. Some may have over 20, 30 accounts. We have YouTube accounts, and I want you to stop and think how many of these you have. Okay, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, email, work email, Spotify, everything and anything in between. And we see many times, again, I wanted to stop and think, when was the last time you seen somebody, even maybe it happened to yourself, a friend, a family, or that random person that you added in a nightclub 3 years ago and they're still on your Facebook as friends, and you see statuses and posts and messages going into circulation saying, "Do not open any links, I didn't send any message, or I didn't tag you in this, my account was hacked, do not open the link." We see this quite a lot. So like I said, stop and think, when was the last time? I bet you it was fairly frequently. Maybe it happened to you. But what happens is, in reality, 99% of the time, these people aren't hacked in terms of how we know it. A lot of times, this happened due to what we call poor password management. Okay, so when we talk about poor password management, there's a couple of different factors. So let's start off. So number one for me is excessive use of a password over long periods of time. These are the people that use the same password now today for their accounts, for their Facebook, for their social media nowadays, as they used for Bebo, MySpace, all of these other services from years and years ago. And what I mean is, they've used this same password for a number of years, which is really, really bad. That's number one in password management. Okay, update your passwords frequently. And when I say frequently, it doesn't have to be every day, every week, every month, maybe every 6 months. Okay, at least once a year. Okay, at least once a year. I once heard a phrase that passwords are like underwear. Okay, you shouldn't use them twice, and you don't want to share them with anybody. Number two, this is when people use what we call a master key. Okay, and what I mean is that they use the same password over multiple accounts. So their password for their Facebook is the same as their email address, is the same for their Twitter, same for YouTube. And what happens is, when one of them passwords, or when that password, should I say, is involved in a data breach online, or is involved in, let's say, some sort of leak, well then all of their accounts are now vulnerable, because you get some 14, 15-year-old sitting in his room bored one day that comes across this leaked database, and next thing you know, they're taking over all your accounts and you're slowly losing access to them accounts. Number three. Number three is just using crap passwords. These are the people that use things like their date of birth, the child's name, the dog's name, their favorite color, anything like that. And they think they're smart because, well, it's okay because I added 123 after it. Believe it or not, one of the most common passwords involved in data breaches is in fact password. Yes, you heard me correctly. Okay, there's people out there that use password 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these kind of things for password. This is definitely on the list for poor password management. So instead, what I advise is what we call passphrases. So instead of using a password, I would use a passphrase, and a passphrase could be a minimum of 3 random words. Okay, and when I say random, it just needs to be random in terms of no correlation between them words and yourself, because I'm not going to use ones like my pet's favorite name plus my date of birth plus this plus that, because these are things that attackers or investigators can find online using leveraging open source intelligence. So instead we'd use random things. Let's say, so for me sitting here, I've random one: light, phone, desk. Okay, 3 random words that can't be correlated directly to me. Okay, and as well, some other good rule of thumbs is make sure to mix up. So always have an uppercase, lowercase, as well include some numbers and some what we call special characters. And when we say special characters, don't get lazy and just do the very first one like everyone else does, and I know you've done it, is just including exclamation mark. Okay, there's lots of different, there's what I can see on the keyboard: 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's easily over 30 special characters there on that keyboard. So mix them up, change them around. Yeah, so let's have a look at why this is important. So let's open up our browser. Okay. So here in our browser, we're just going to type in how strong is my password. Why have we got caps lock on? So let's go to this one, security.org, how strong is my password. So for this, I don't think you're going to be able to, no, you won't be able to see it. So we're going to have a look at, so when we think about hackers, actual hackers using software and using tools and programs to try hack people's passwords and accounts, they use what's known as, there's a number of different methods. Okay, but in terms of actually breaking or cracking a password, they use what's known as a brute force attack. So basically it's try every key until the door opens. Okay, throw stuff at the wall until something sticks. So what they'll do is they will go through these computer programs, and processing powers of computers nowadays can be relatively high, that they can go through thousands on thousands of combinations within the space of a couple of minutes. So let's have a look here over on our browser, and let's just put in password. Okay, no uppercase, all lowercase. Okay, so these kind of software would crack this password instantly, and when I say instantly, I mean split second, instantly. Okay, so let's take away and let's just add one capital P. Okay, do not use password even with a capital. Okay, mix it up. But just for this example, let's say a capital P and the rest all lowercase password. So now just simply adding a capital letter, it's gone from instant to 22 minutes. 22 minutes isn't a long time. A lot of hackers are very patient. So anyways, next up, let's add a number. We're going to go lazy, but don't do it. We're just going to add one number, and it's going to be, you guessed it, number 1. And this could take anything up to 3 days for computer software such as brute force software to crack. Okay, 3 days, again, not a long time. If somebody was intentionally trying to access your information, access your accounts, 3 days is not a long time to wait in order to get that information. So next up, we're just going to add a special character. We're going to go lazy, and I know you've done it. Okay, we're just going to add an exclamation mark, and just adding that exclamation mark alone has gone from 3 days to 5 years. Okay, 5 years. So huge big difference there. But that doesn't mean use password 1 exclamation mark. Definitely don't do that, please. But let's check out, like I said, some passphrase. Okay, so let's put in passphrase, and I'm going to use every word I use in this passphrase. I'm going to use 1 capital letter at the start. Okay, so I'm going to say phone, light, chair, and that's simply just what's around. We have lights here. Okay, looks like the police, the popo. I have lights here, I have a phone in front of me, obviously I'm sitting on a chair. So that was just 3 random things that came into my mind, and we can see already 43 million years. Okay, just using 3 random ones, using a passphrase instead with capital letters. And now we're just going to add a number. 1 number, 37 billion years, not millions, billion years. Huge big difference. And if we go ahead and add a special character, 93 trillion years. Okay, so we've seen the difference there from 5 days, 3 years. But the second we go from passwords to passphrases, we're talking millions of years, billions of years, trillions of years. Okay, so definitely go with passphrases. So let's have a look. If you are interested in seeing how these hackers find your information online, such as if you want to find out if your password is online, just hit that subscribe button down here or here. It's in one of them, it's in your bottom right corner for you, and hit that subscribe button and you can check out our video on sextortion. Okay, it's a very common let's say crime nowadays. That's exactly what it is. It's a crime, and what they do is they leverage poor password management in order to manipulate people into handing over lots of money, or into sending illicit images of themselves, or etc. Okay, so check out that other video and get informed. Okay, in that video you'll be able to see how you can check if your password is online. So let's just go ahead and have a look. So what can we do? Okay, we have what's known as password managers. These are programs, services that kind of store our passwords for us. So password manager isn't someone that we can just hire that follows around and gives us our password every time we need it, but instead it's the digital version of this. Okay, the best way to describe it is it's a safe. It's a digital safe. Okay, and what it does is you store all your passwords in there, and you only have 1 password. You only need to know 1 password now. So instead of remembering 10 passwords, 20 passwords, or using the same password over multiple accounts, now we just need 1. That's it. And what? Passphrase. Okay, so we need 1 passphrase, and that's it. And everything is nice and secure. So that's the key to our safe. And let's have a look at how we do that. So over here in our browser, we're going to put in Keepassxc. There are different versions of KeePass, but personally I like XC. But let's open this up. Okay, so if you head over to Keepassxc and click that download button, if you're on Mac, if you're on Linux, anything like that, but for me I'm on Windows, and that's why it's showing download for Windows. So hit that download button and get it downloaded, and while that's downloading, there's 2 types of what we call password managers. There's one which is known as like a cloud-based password manager, and this means that all your passwords are stored in the cloud. Okay, which means that if you come over to my house, you sit down on my computer, you can log into your password manager account, and you can still get all your passwords for all your accounts. But personally, I don't like that. Okay, I'd rather have them stored locally, so that I know even if this online password service gets hacked themselves or gets breached, they might be secure now, but in 2 years time, will they still be secure? Will they have all my passwords to all my accounts? Because I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket and leave it online. So I like to use something like this, Keepassxc. Keepassxc is a local password manager, okay, which means that all my passwords are encrypted locally on my machine, on my device. Yes, it means that I can't access the passwords outside of that, but if you want it, we'll just go very quickly. Let's just portableapps.com. Okay, so portableapps.com, we will set this up in a different video and show how to do this because we don't want to have this video too long. So portableapps.com, this is an option which means that we can set this KeePass up on a USB, and we can encrypt this USB and then bring that with us on our keychain, in our pocket, whatever, which means then we have access to this passwords locally stored at any point wherever we are, okay, once we have this with us. But anyways, let's go back. So once you download that, the next step, what we want to do is you want to go to, I'm using Firefox, okay, so Firefox add-ons, but for Chrome it's Chrome extensions, okay, it depends on what browser you're using. So we'll go to Firefox add-ons, and here in Firefox add-ons we need to get the browser add-on as well, so we'll put in Keepassxc browser. Okay, so we can see it here, Keepassxc browser, and what you want to do is just click add, okay, or download, whatever it is dependent on your configuration. So once that's in there, we can see it up here. Here's the logo. Okay, so once we have two of them downloaded, what we can do is we can simply open up, this is one I done earlier as a test. Let's delete this. Okay, so this is what you'll get. Okay, you'll start being asked to create a database, and so you'll start with new database and you'll make a new database. Do not call the database passwords. Okay, it's just a big red flag for somebody if they get access to your machine. So call it something else, something you're not going to forget, but something else, not passwords. Once you do that, then you can pick the encryption level. Okay, personally I like to put it at max. I don't mind waiting 5 seconds to unencrypt this database. Okay, it's a couple of seconds, but for so much more security. After that, then you can just click continue, and what happens is it will make up this database for you, and you can input a password for this. Okay, this is going to be your key to the safe. This is going to be the only passphrase you need. Okay, so like I said, use a passphrase, mix it up, capital letters, lowercase, numbers, special characters. Okay, a minimum of 3 random words. Okay, mix it up, and that's all you need. You can commit that to memory. Okay, it's only one password. I don't care how bad your memory is. Okay, you can remember one passphrase of 3 words. Okay, so commit that to memory, and when it's done, just click done, and that's going to make your database. So every time now you open up your computer, this will come up, you input that passphrase, and that will open up your database. And once that's done, you can kind of put it to the background, drop it down, and that's fine. It kind of lives there in the background because we have this browser extension. So what we're going to do is, let's say we want to sign up for, Proton Mail. Okay, because I don't like to use Gmail or any of these other Google services. We'll talk about this in another episode. But Proton Mail is very quickly, it's a secure email service based in Switzerland. One of my favorites, to be honest. So let's say we want to sign up to this. We want a free account, select the free plan. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make some new entries. So let's say our username is YouTube test. We'll just keep it simple enough. Elysium YouTube at protonmail.com for password. Okay, so here for password, this is where our KeePass comes in. Okay, so what we can do is open up a KeePass. We want to go to make new. Okay, so we'll click this for a new entry. So this is a new password word entry that we're going to put in. The title for this I'm going to put in is Proton Mail. So I know, okay, this one's obviously for my Proton Mail. My username is going to be this here, what we made. Okay, so I can just copy and paste this. Copy. Username is going to be, I copied and pasted and then went to type, and it's at protonmail.com. And now here's the golden one. Okay, password. So now for password, we're going to click this little dice, and what this is a password generating program. So we have passphrases, or we have passwords. So if we click this, we can have a look. So in passphrases, it's using 40 random phrases. Okay, onclad, luminous, pancreas, catering, ecologist. Am I pronouncing that? Yeah. Look, exactly. There's 40 random ones. Okay, and as well password, or we can pick password. And very important to click these. Okay, we want to mix up the character types. So we have uppercase, lowercase, numbers, special characters. You can do extended, but yeah, whatever you want to do, but just make sure there's enough. And you can go as far as 128 characters, but usually I like to sit around 60 to 80 characters long. So what I would do there is I would apply that password and simply just copy it. So make sure we selected it all. And copy, and over here we will drop this in, paste, recovery email, don't need it, and we're going to create the account. Username not valid. Who out there has robbed Elysium YouTube? If you own that, let me know. So let's just say test 2021. It's probably gone already. Yes, already in use. Test, let's say Elysium test 2021. There's no way. You did not set recovery, that's fine. Done. Now see, we need verification for everything. Okay, but we can talk about different workarounds for this in the future. Well, anyways, let's just say we set it up through that just for this. It's just a demo. So we set it up, and let's say protonmail.com. So let's say this is our login. We're going to copy this login. We're just going to drop it in here because this is the URL we want to remember that on. Okay, and paste, and that's done. Okay, for the sake of 2 minutes, and it's up and running. There is easier ways of doing this. We will have a look at that as well. Probably later on in a different video when we're looking at portable apps, but for now let's just keep it at this. So that's our entry done. That's there now for life, and it's encrypted into that database. So that means this is connected. Let's just refresh this login page. So as if, let's say it's the next day, we come in, and as you can see here, it's already prompting us, do you want to use the credentials that you saved titled Proton? And I'm going to say yes. Remember this, because every time I click on the Proton Mail, I want to pull this up. Okay, so I'm going to allow that selected, and it's as simple as this. Click, and that's it. It's all there. That 40, 50, 60 character password now is all there. It's input there for us, and then we're going to just go ahead and click login. Okay, because we didn't create it, we didn't verify. It's not there, but that's how easy it is to use. So yeah, check it out, get it downloaded, get secure. It takes maybe 10 minutes to set up, okay, if even. And we will have a look in another episode. We'll have a look at how to make that portable, how to put it onto an encrypted USB drive so we can bring it around with us. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And as always, let me know, drop a comment below, let me know what you want to see. Okay, because I'm making this content for you guys. If there's any questions you have, drop them in the comments below. I will do everything to answer every single question. If I don't know a direct answer to something, I will point you in the direction to make sure that you get that answer, okay? So yeah, so drop a comment, hit like, and as always, please subscribe, okay? To make sure that you're up to date. Our next episode will be next week at the same time. Yeah. Until then, stay safe just in case.
Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.